What's going on, everyone? How are we doing? Welcome back to the channel. So we have done 104 videos now, I believe, on the channel, which is pretty mad. We're almost 2 years into this YouTube journey. I just want to say a massive big ups to everyone that's supported, liked, shared, commented, whatever you've done. I appreciate all of you. It is getting tough now to create videos, not gonna lie, because a lot of people ask for videos that are probably new to the channel, but there's 100 videos where I have covered a hell of a lot of the topics that you're asking for. So I would really stress, just make sure if you're new to the channel or perhaps you've missed a video, go and check the library of videos that I've created, because there's some absolute crazy value there. I don't want to repeat myself on multiple videos, such as like videos like the coin flip, where I, 2 years ago I flipped a coin showing probabilities and stuff. I did that a long time ago. Go and check it out. However, I'm going to keep coming up with innovative ideas to obviously deliver value. However, today I wanted to touch on kind of losing that gambling mindset, which I feel many people naturally have when they come into trading. I know I had it. And for example, today is NFP. I tweeted on Twitter how, like 5 years ago, I remember, I believe at the time I was a window cleaner, and I would be in people's gardens and I would literally be getting ready to buy or sell the dollar, and I would just use all the dollar crosses, and around 12 o'clock, half 12, I would click sell or I would click buy depending on my bias for the day and whether I thought the news was going to be negative, positive for the dollar, and I would literally have like 5 to 7 trades ready to go. Looking back, mad, like to think that's what I did. And I'd have like £1,000 personal, and I'd be like, I'll flip this, I'll make £1,000, all good. And look, sometimes I made it, I flipped £1,000, finished work that day and be like, oh, there's more to life than this, I can make this money online, it's like half my month's salary in a day, oh my god, I'm the man. However, the next month you'd have more money to play with, you'd increase your lot size and you'd lose the lot. And it's kind of that revolving thing, right? And it's quite like people that bet, that go to the bookies. I've seen people put in like their whole week's wages in like a fruit machine on the weekend, and it's quite sad to see. And it's because that you're hoping for that win. But the problem is, with that win, there will always be another win needed, because even winning the lottery, right, there's this big question that goes around like, oh, what would you do if you won the lottery? And people think they've got it all figured out. They're like, I'd buy a Lambo, I'd buy a yacht, I'd buy a house, I'd do all this stuff. But very quickly, that $1 million, let's say, if you've made, it's gone like that. Boom. Remember, you get to a millionaire, you spend £1, you're not a millionaire anymore. You have £999,999. So you're already not a millionaire. And I think the thing is here is like, there will always be another level to reach and achieve in life, and there will always be another figure or another number. And I think it's very important that you disassociate the gambling mindset and a professional mindset of trading, and kind of realize that, people think this is gambling. They think that you're just kind of clicking buy or sell and you hope it's going to work. However, this is where an edge comes in, and this is where like having a system that you truly know can give you an edge on the market. It's something that works over a repeatable amount of data, provided you execute it based on the rules. So you literally will have an edge, and then you will have a trading plan which allows you to execute the edge, and then you'll have your mindset and your psychology kind of trigger for you to utilize a trading plan and allow the edge to play out. So my biggest thing, first of all, is make sure you actually have an edge and you've tested this edge and you have data on this edge that proves to you over a year, 2 years, 3 years, it consistently works in the market environments. Different markets adapt, things change, whatever it might be. So ensure that you have the data first. Once you've got it and you know it works, it's then down to you to actually execute it flawlessly, and execute it based on the risk parameters you put in place, the rules you have in place, which then forms your trading plan, which everyone should have, or a checklist, or whatever it is. And then from there, you'll have obviously you as an individual. So whether you have a hesitation problem, or a FOMO problem, or an impulsiveness, or an impatience, there's so many different varieties of things that may come under that mindset psych evaluation that you need to get in check, that then allows you to execute the edge. Because 9 times out of 10, it's not the edge, it's you. However, many people in this industry fail to understand that, and they fail to comprehend that they're at fault. A great example would be, systems that perhaps don't have as frequent setups. So now if you come to a place where you're like, right, you need to wait a week for a trade, people are like itching. They're like, what, a week? What do you mean a week? No, I'm not waiting a week. Like, you're having a laugh, and like, I need to trade, because your perception of a trader is someone that trades every day, or perhaps you originally traded like that, so that's how you think and deem trading to be, right? So it's very important that you actually get to grips with what is your perception of a trader. And I know I've mentioned this a lot, but I can't stress enough how important it is. And this is based on me seeing this on a regular occurrence online, from messages that I receive. Most people have got that broken mindset, and they may have the edge, they may have the trade plan, but the mindset is the missing link, and they're not linking it. Or they have the edge, maybe they have the mindset, but they don't actually have a trade plan. Or they don't have an edge at all, and they're just trying to wing it. And that's why sometimes like I said before, my 6-year-old daughter will tell me, Daddy, it's going up, and it goes up, and EU goes and makes a new high, and I'm like, do you have some kind of secret sauce? But it's just that she's just gone and took a guess, and you could do that. However, it won't work long term, and especially when you go for things like funding. You also have to understand that times have changed a little bit for us, and when we first got into this industry, I myself, the usual was you put 300 to 500 quid in a broker, and you were looking to flip it. That was the usual kind of style, if you like, and sometimes you might get signals and you'd sign up someone's broker, whatever it might be, right? Now you've got prop firms, and the same $300 to $500 could buy you a 50 to 100k prop account, which you could then use to make much more money on. Because if we take that 300 to 500 pounds or dollars, if you make 5% on that, you're going to average around 15 to 25 pound or dollars return per month, which, let's face it, that's not even going to cover a Nando's these days. Whereas if you're doing it on a 50 to 100k account, you're going to average between 1500 and sort of 2500, considerable amount, and could be some people's outgoings for the month. So you can see how very quickly we're in an age now where prop firms are incredible, and I do think they are absolutely game changing for everyone in this industry. And if you're not utilizing them, I believe you should be. I'm not saying don't have a personal. As I said before, you should definitely have a personal account and use the funds from the prop firm to grow your personal capital, because you have full control over it, and obviously you have 100% profit split as opposed to 80 and whatnot. However, 80 is still incredible, 70 still incredible. These kind of profit splits are huge compared to if you went to, say, an investor and they were like, I'll give you 50-50 or perhaps less, right? So again, a lot of people I see are kind of bashing the prop firm side of things. I wouldn't bash them. I'd utilize them as a tool. And obviously, like I've said before, one of the hardest things I find with prop firms is the time limit, especially with the way that I now trade. To be honest, it's always been a problem, because if you don't get that challenge done in the first 2 weeks, and you're on a 30-day challenge, usually you are going to start going off plan, you're going to start adjusting the edge, you're going to become impatient, you're going to take average trades, you're going to try and trade news, and the gambling mindset's going to come in because you've got to reach said target matter. So I think we're in an age now where obtaining capital is easy, keeping it is the hard part, and I feel like risk management and things have gone out the window. And I see people to this day, they still gamble because that kind of thought in your head, and I've had it. I understand it, and everything I speak of, I speak from experience. I'm not just saying it as some woo-woo. I generally have experienced these things, and I'm trying to share them. There are moments where when I have challenges running, I'll see a news event, and old me would have been like, oh, volatility, that provides liquidity, we could get in here, we could play the news, we could fade the news. And look, sometimes it's great. And if that's your system, I'm not bashing that, by the way. However, 9 times out of 10, you're just doing it from an impulsive state of mind. It doesn't fit your system. The plan's gone out the window, the edge is now out the window, and you're just going gamble mode. And that gamble mode is likely what's causing you to fail. That's likely what's causing to keep you holding you back. And you need to actually spend time digging into why are you gambling. And if it comes from a place of you need money, my biggest take from this is go and get another income. Whether that's a job, whether that's your own business, whether that's selling some stuff online, whatever it is, creating content, which, not gonna lie, it doesn't really pay, but you get the gist. Go and get another way to make money and have trading as its own thing that's not reliant on your bills. That's where the gambling comes from. It's why people go in the bookies and they put their entire wage packet on a horse or a football team, or they do those wild accumulators, 18 teams all going to come in, and it's not going to happen, but if it does, it's 100 bags, and people are like, yeah. However, what do most people do with that? If they did win, they would just go and spunk it on shit. Right, they would ruin it, they'd spunk it, and they'd be back to normal, they'd be back at work the next week. They might have a week or two off, but they'd be back to work. And it's because of that mindset and your relationship with money, which is something else I would recommend digging into. It's very important you do. However, what I'm trying to get at is, if you're still treating trading as a gambling kind of hobby or a bit of fun, it's not worth the stress and the mental implications it's having on you. You might as well do something else, because there's too good an opportunity to waste. But you're also causing so much carnage in your mind that psychology part that kind of makes up that three-way system, you're making that so bad and so toxic and so hard to overcome, because you're just battering it constantly, that no matter what edge you have, no matter what trade plan you have, you're not going to be able to execute it and stick to the rules. And this is, I think, the big thing is, even if you followed signals of someone consistent, you would mess it up. You would get involved somewhere, you wouldn't want to hold a trade, you would do something to fuck it up. And this is a very common theme, and it's due to you not feeling worthy enough. And again, it's something you need to dig into, is why do you feel this belief? Do you even believe that you can be a consistent trader? Like, do you genuinely believe that when I say those words? Anyone watching this, the thousands of you that watch it, do you genuinely believe that you can be a consistent trader and you can make a living from it? Or do you still have doubts? Are you still unsure? And there's no right or wrong here, but I'm curious. You don't have to let me know if you want to, drop it in the comments. But how many of you actually believe you can make it and make it a career? And how many of you are here just on the hope that it might work and get you out of a bad situation? Because if you don't believe it, you're still going to find a way to mess it up. You might have a couple of profitable months, but you'll mess it up. This is a business for you. Like, if you were to go and set up a business now on Company's House, and you were like, I don't know, let's say you were starting a clothing brand's an easy example, right? Let's say you're starting a clothing brand, you've set up the business, you've got your branding, you've launched your website, let's say you've got your teas and that ready to go. Would you then do nothing and just go, see what happens? Or would you be working on it all the time? However, with trading, you've maybe watched a few videos, and again, like last week, you're trying to perform heart surgery and you haven't got a Scooby-Doo what you're doing. And I think this comes back to that thing of you're being lazy, and you need to ask yourself, is it actually for you? Do you actually want to do this? Or should you be better off doing something else with your time and saving yourself from the trauma you're causing? Because there's plenty of things to do in this world. You don't have to just be a trader. You could be anything and make money. There's loads of different things, but they're all going to take time. If there was a secret out there that genuinely worked, we'd all be doing it. If there was this like, go online and you can make 10k a day from 30 seconds work, bro, I'd be doing it. It doesn't exist. And if it does exist, it's only because people have put thousands of hours of work in to get to a point where that now happens for them on a regular occurrence. It doesn't just happen, yeah mate, completed it. But yeah, other than that, have a great week, catch you in a bit.